Hello and welcome back to the continuation of the previous video. The previous video was too long and my computer had an issue. It stopped recording the screen. So I have to resume from the previous video and we complete the previous promise, which is making the list. So remember in the previous video we were creating the dummy data of people, and because my computer continued recording without recording the video, I thought that I had created the whole code. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to explain the entire code that I had written, and you'll be pausing the video and maybe write the code after I've explained it. So this is the list of people. Remember we were creating this list of people. This was the last point where I stopped at. This is just a list of people, and I had to create a data generator. So I'm going to show you how we can create data generator. This data generator was nothing but a class of different methods that will be helping us to generate data in the project. So I have created this first method, which is called get people data. It is in this data generator class. Let me come here and I show you. So if I come to data, you'll see data generator class, and we have put there a method called get people data. So this get people data, it will be doing what? It will be generating the data of people, just dummy data of people, and return it. So I'm going to explain every line here and make sure that you get it. So this is the method that it promises to return a list of people, as you can see, and it is a static method, and its name is called get people data. It will be receiving the context. Okay, I believe you can write this, and it is opening from here and it ends from here. So I begin by creating a list of what? A list of people. As you can see here, it is nothing but a list, and it's named item, and I reinitialize it to what? To new array list. Then after, I return here this list of items down here. So let me explain now this middle part where I'm doing the logic. So this here we have a type array, which is the drawable, and it is array, a typed array. Okay, this one is going to get the drawable of arrays from where? From the list. So you have to write typed array and write here a name of this array. And how do you get the resources, the list of drawables from the resources? Remember in the previous video I showed you how to create these drawable resources of the drawables. Now we have to convert them into what? Into Java. So I just use this context that I received here, and I put .get resource to obtain a typed array, and I pass the array of images. And this array of images, you know where it is? It is under project, under resources, which is the res file, under values, and under the array XML. Okay, so here it's having this resource called integer array, and it is having a name of what? Of people images. And here we're just putting an item, and you say at drawable, and you put the image name. Okay, and these are images in our what? In our drawables. The profile pictures in our what? In our folder of drawables. I think I explained the whole of this part in the previous video. We created this array. You can pause it and create it in your what? In your resources. You just create this file of XML called array, and give these values. You create these values inside that resource. I think I created that. So what I did also, the names were too few. I had to copy them twice. So here we have names that are twice written. Also, or you can also create your own names that are more than 15. Okay. So after doing that, after creating these resources, so I'll come back to our project. To the data generator. So I have to extract those array from the resources like this and store them here, and also extract the name array the array of names from the resources like this. You can see it just gets string array array dot people names. So you can put there any kind of names. Then after doing that, I had to create a loop that I'm going to create each single image, each single people object, and add them into this list of items that I created here. So how do I do that? I just simply say integer I is less than what? Is less than the size of the array of images that we got from where? From the resources, and then say I plus plus. and then I create, each time I loop I create a single object of a what, of a people, as you can see here. And you know how we created this class of what, of people. You can pause the video and look at the class of people. Then after after I had to do what, I say object dot I initialize now the images, that which is drawable array dot get resource, and I pass here the I, and I pass the default value as -1, and I also do the same for the name, and I also do the same for the email. So this email, I did not show you how I created them in the previous video. Let me show you how you can generate this email. So to generate this email, I created a class called tools, but this method you can put it anywhere. You can even put it here, this method of get email from name. Okay, you can put it anywhere, but I put it in what, in tools. It will be just creating for me the dummy images. So if I go to tools, which is a class here, you can see it is a class here called tools. I created it. I created this method called what, get email from name. What it does, it returns a string, and it gets a name, and what it does, it checks if a name is not null and if it's not equal to nothing. So if it's not one of these, what I do, I just say a string of email is equal to replace all, and I replace all the space with what, with a dot, and I make it to lowercase, and I return, and I concatenate there the what, at mail.com, and I return that email. So that's how I created this method that generates an email from here, from a name, just a dummy email. So I return that name, and that name will I return that email, and that email will be stored here in the object's email field. And then lastly, I do what? I get the image from the resource files, from the drawables. Remember, we copied this image and put them in what, in our project. So I just simply say context.getResources.get drawable, and I put the object image that I copied here, and I save it here in the what, in the object drawable field, as how I showed you. And then I say items.add. I add the object that I did what, that I did get from the I did create here. I add this object into what, into the items. And then after, I shuffle them. Shuffling is just like randomizing them. I randomize them. After randomizing this one, just simply say collections.shuffle.items equals the items, and then I return those items. I shuffle them because I just don't want them to look the same all the time. I just want them to be in a random form. So I said to return the items. So here to return the what, it will return the items. So that's how we create the what, the data of different object. So if I come back to our list basic activity, which is here, and what I do here, I just simply say list of people, which is the item here. I just say item.add all. I add now more items, because I want them to be more. So I just generate more items as I add them. Say item.add all. I just say generator.get people data, and I pass the context. I also do the same. I pass the context here, and then I'll have a list of what, of different people. So if I run my project, I should be able to display the list of different people. So one more thing that I did, I had to come here to the what, to the main main menu, the list main menu here, and I created a method that can do what, that can open the list, the basic list that you're creating right now. So if I come here to basic list, you can see I just put a button here. See this button, and I put the onClick method, and in that onClick I just simply put open basic list, and this open basic list is the method that will open the what, the basic list. And if I click here, press Ctrl and click, it's nothing but a method that will receive a view, and what does it is just initialize the integer in the intent, as how and it passes the list basic activity.class, and then I start the activity, as you can see here. So I start the activity, and I pass the intent, and then be able to do what, to open our basic list, what, our basic list activity. So by doing like that, it will be able to do what, to launch our basic list activity. So that's how we do what, that's how we initialize the basic list. Okay, that's how we initialize the basic list. Right now, if I run this project, you should be able to do what, to display just nothing but be able to initialize, to create a list of these items, or the dummy data. So after doing that, let me just, okay, let us run it right now. I just create here a tag, and you can loop through this list to see that we have this list of data right now. Let us do it and see and make sure that we have a list of what? Of items. So what I do, I just create here a tag. You know how to do that. You just simply write log t, and then you'll have that tag. And I'm going to put here a loop here after creating initializing the list. I'm going to put a loop of people, call it p, and then I put items, of course. Okay, and this loop I'm going to put log d, and I'm going to put here the names and see if we've really got the names .1.name. So by doing like that, we're supposed to have these names in the what in our log cat. Let us run it and see. So at this point, you should have a project of this kind. So I simply click on lists, and I'll see basic list. I simply click on basic list, and I'll be able to see an empty item like this. So let us go ahead and see if in our log cat we've got this list of items that we've put. So I'll just copy this log cat here, the tag that I attached here, and click on log cat, and then I paste it here. So let us see. First remove everything, paste it there. You see the names have been created, as you can see: Mary Jackson, Evan Collins, Garcia Lewis. So you can see the names have been created. So at this point, you should also be able to get such a names. So make that a point, so that you make sure that these really the names have been initialized. Okay, so I'm sure now the names have been initialized, or the dummy data has been created. Now I'm going to go ahead and do what? And now start creating the Recyclerview. Now it's time to do what? To create the Recyclerview. So the Recyclerview, the first thing to do is create the adapter. Okay, so I'm going to create the adapter right now. I've already created it, but my task will be just to show you how we can create the same adapter. Okay, so the very first thing that we do is create the adapter. So I'm going to create a method of, I'm going to create a package where I'll be keeping all our adapters. Okay, so I'll simply come to our project. So the first thing is to do create an adapter. So I'll come to our project and collapse everything. Okay, so I'll come here to the main package, and right click on it and say new, and then say package, and I'm going to put here adapter. Okay, so all our adapters that we'll use in our project, will be putting them here. Okay, so likewise, when you create your project, try your best to see that you organize your things in that kind. So right click there and say new Java class, and I'm going to put there adapter list basic. Okay, that is our basic list adapter. Okay, and I press enter, and then we'll have that kind of thing. So you see it is under adapter, and right now we're going to do what? To go ahead and implement the things of adapter that adapter needs. So the first thing that that the adapter needs is has to extend a Recyclerview adapter like this. Okay, I'll just simply come here and extend Recyclerview adapter, and you pass to it a view a view holder. Okay, after doing that, just say extend Recyclerview.adapt, and you pass Recyclerview.viewholder. Okay, so we're going step by step. After doing that, you're going to go ahead and create a private variable of array, a private array as a variable of list of people. So I just simply come here and create a private variable with a list of of people, as you can see that, and initialize it to nothing. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and create things that we may need. For example, we'll need the context, and we'll need the on-click listener. Okay, so I just simply come and put the context here. Okay, so I have the context there. Then I have to create the on-click listener variable. So I have just simply come down here and put the on-click listener, and then I just simply come here and press Alt and Enter and say import class, and then we'll have the on-click listener variable. Then after doing that, I'll go ahead and create now the interface of the on-click listener. Like if someone clicks on the on-click listener, this interface will be provoked. Okay, so I just simply copy this and paste it here, the interface. But this interface, in a normal sense, you do it at the last time, but for me, since I already write it, I can just simply put it here. So it is a public interface, and I call it on item click listener, and I just simply put on click listener, and I pass. I return void, and I pass here a view and a people object and the position where the item has been clicked. So I've written the interface. So after writing the interface, we'll go ahead and put now the what and invoke the on click listener. I'm going to explain everything here. Okay, so I come after this interface and I put the on click listener invoking. Okay, so it is nothing but let me show you. Let me explain it here. It is a set on click listener. It's just you change this word here on click listener, you just add the word set on click listener. Okay, set on click listener, and here we have to pass the final on click listener item. Okay, and here we just put this dot on item click listener, this on item click listener, and we initialize it to what this click listener that we've had here. So this is the one that will have to be that will be setting on an object on this item when the item is clicked. Okay, so after doing that, I'll go ahead and now I'll create the constructor called adapter basic. Okay, this constructor will use it to initialize the context and the list of items. Okay, you see it is having the same name as the what as the class. So I call it adapter basic, and it is a what is it is a constructor. It is initializing the items and the what and the context. I hope you are together. So after doing that, I go ahead and create the what that the view holder. Okay, the view holder, I'm going to explain it, don't worry. So it's going to be a public class inside this class. Make sure it is a public class inside this class. Okay, it's called public class original view holder. Public class original view holder. It extends Recyclerview view holder. That is why this is warning, and when we finish to create this will be resolved. It is public class original view holder. You can name it anything, and it extends what Recycler.view holder. So what it does, it we have in this class we have an image, you have a text view, we have a what a view itself, and then we're having here we're having a method called the constructor inside this view holder. It will be receiving a what a view, and then we create a super view and we pass this view, and then what we do here is say image. It's got find image by id add.id.image, and then we also say the text, the name, which is also the text view, and the parent layout, which is the what a view, just a default view. It's the what is the parent layout. So you put this simple class inside this big class. Okay, after putting that simple class of view holder, we go ahead and do what and create now the what the view holder. We initialize the view holder when the recycler view when it will be clicked on, and then initialize the what the view holder. So I have to simply cut here and paste it here, and I'm going to explain everything. It is nothing but on create. It is a method to override here on create recycler view. We just simply write on create like this. Write on create, and if you've not written it for the first time, the IDE will do what? Will automatically write it for you. But if it cannot write it for you, then you have to pause the video and write the way it is here. So we're having the on create method on view holder on the view holder create method, which is a public view holder, an instance of this view holder. Okay, it's an instance of this view holder, and it is having the view holder parent and the what and the view type itself. Okay, it is an what is an integer. So here we have the recycler view, and I define it at VH. This is just a name, and then also recycler view holder, an object of this class that we created here, and then I initialize also the what the layout that you're going to be that will be displaying in in an item. I call this one item people chart. Okay, so this layout is not created yet, and right now we're going to do to create it. Okay, then that will be inflating when the view holder is being created. So let us go ahead and create this layout right now. It's not created right now. We're going to create it right now. Just press simply Alt and Enter, and then I just say OK, and you'll see this layout will be created. So I'm going to split it so you can go ahead and do it and see the source code and the design. I already created this layout. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to use it I'm going to paste it and then explain it here. So I'll paste it here and I'll have the layout. So let me explain everything step by step. So we're having here the layout. This style, I can remove it for now. This is just a repo. I can remove it for now, just for now, and to make it short video. We're having parent layout is a material repo layout, but it can be anything. It can be a card view, it can be anything. So we have linear layout here, okay, and here it is on the retention of horizontal, and so we're having an image view, and it is having width of 50 and height of 50, and margin of large top and bottom, and right and left it is having middle margin. And I have just a default drawable, or the default image as photo female 1, and then I have a view here that is going to separate this photo from the second how should I call it, from the second linear layout. Okay, so I put also another linear layout which is having orientation of vertical, and is having the first layout which is the text here, and it's having another layout which is the description, as you can see here. So you can pause the video and look at it. I believe you already have an idea of how things go here. Okay, let me put the code only. So pause the video and look at my my item layout, and I have to make sure this item layout, it is having the height of wrap content. Okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, so here in the bottom we're having this gray line that you can see. So after doing that, go back to our layout, and you can see it is resolved. The layout that will be that will be inflated when each item is done is created. Okay, so it will be inflated. So after doing that, then we go ahead and now create the Onbindview. Okay, Onbindview. You can just simply just write Onbind and everything will be okay. Will be suggested. So I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to explain everything. So this Onbind, it will just receive the view holder and the position of the item that you are binding at that particular time. So in this view holder, I just simply check if it is the instance of the original view holder. Otherwise, if it is not the instance of the original view holder, then it will be ignored. Okay, so I just say original view holder is equal to this view holder, and I say people, or the person object, is equal to item.get position, and I pass the position that I've got here, and then I'll be able to do to get this view, and I set the name. I also get the image, and I want to display it in a round, but for now I'll not display it in round. I'll just keep it simple. I'll just keep it simple for now. Let me comment here. So the image will be okay. Let me do it right now, because I don't want to leave things that I didn't promise. So I'm going to show you how you can create this rounded image. Okay, I already have this method. So it is in the tools class. Remember, I've created that class of tools. Otherwise, if you don't want to create that class, you can just simply copy this part and then paste it there. But since I already have the class of tools, so I'm going to add this method. So go here to tools, and then add this method that will be changing the image into a round. Okay, so what do we do here? This method is just public static void, and it's called display image round. It will be getting the context and the image view and the drawable itself that we're going to put in this image view. So we are using glide library, so we need to put a glide library right now. So I'm going to do what to implement the glide library. So let us go ahead and get the glide library and add it in our project. So you can simply search glide library on internet and get its GitHub and get the implementation. For me, I already have it, so I just simply come to project and I come to where? To the Gradle script, and then I come to Gradle module, and then I come here under the implementations and I'm going to add glide. So I'll come in bottom and I add glide. You can see just implementation com.github.bumptake.glide.23.7.0. but right now you can just search the latest glide in the current time that you're watching this video and get its GitHub and get its implementation and paste it here in the Gradle module. So right now I'm going to do what? To sync the project. Okay, so let us sync the project. So I'll go ahead and sync the project by simply clicking on sync. And to sync this project, you should be connected to internet, of course. So the project has successfully synced, so we're going to resume from where I stopped at. So simply go back to tools and this will be resolved. Okay, so this is our method that will be displaying an image, which is display image round, and will be taking the final of context and then take the final of image and the drawable as how we said, and then we'll do here the try and catch because this one can throw an exception. So simply say glide.width and then we pass the context and then put .load and we put the drawable that we're going to load and as .bitmap. So this one will load the local image. This is how we load the local image into the what? Into the image view. Otherwise, if you're having if you need to load a URL, you don't need to do what? To put this dot as bitmap. Then put .crop.into, then you put the what? The image here. Okay, then you put here bitmap image view target. This is also a method by what? By the bitmap. I mean by the glide. Then after you pass the image view that you're going to load into the image, then you pass here. Okay, and then after we override set resource, and then you put the resource, and then you put round bitmap drawable like this, and then you say circular drawable, and then you say is equals to, and you pass here round bitmap drawable factory dot create num, and then we go ahead and put dot create, and we get the context. We say the context dot get resource here, and then we pass the resource that we received here through this method of what? Of bitmap. In fact, it will be automatically be written by the IDE. And then here we say circular image drawable, circular bitmap drawable dot set circular, and then you make it true. So this one, the one that will make it to be circular, and say image dot set drawable, and then make circular image drawable. So by doing like that, we're able to create what? To create the image, the circular image in a what? In the drawable that we have passed here. So this method, you should pause the video and look at it. It's the one that will be able to do what? To create the circular image into our project. Then after doing that, then we'll go back to our to our adapter, which is here, and everything will be resolved up to this point. And then we make the layout. We add the click listener on the layout, which is on click listener, and then we put the click listener, and then we put here item.position. Press alt and enter because the arguments are not matching. Then after you can pause the video and look at this method, how I created it, the onbind method. After creating that onbind method, I'll go ahead and get the what? And get the remaining portion of the project, which is the setting the display image. Okay, say the display image original. This one already finished. Here on the adapter. This is the one, I mean the get item count. Otherwise, if you don't do this, then it will not show the image, no display. So I have to put it there. And this one here. Okay, so this one will be returning the number of what? Of images in our project. So let me see why this one is not resolved. Alt and enter. Press Alt and enter. To come here on top. This one is rolled here. Then this one. So set click listener. Then put dot on click, and then let me see what we pass. And at this point, everything should be okay. So you can pause the video and look at my code. If you're having any issue, you can look at my code, how I created it. Okay. I hope you got it. I hope you create this adapter successfully. So that's it. We have successfully created this adapter. So we're going to go back in our activity, at least basic activity, and the adapter should be resolved at this moment here. So after having this item, I'm going to remove this loop. I don't need it. So we're going to go ahead and initialize the adapter. Okay. So I'm going to simply write here, after creating the data, you can say adapter is equal to this list basic adapter. So I have to create this variable for the adapter, adapter. So I'll just simply come here on top, in bottom, and create it like this. Okay. So you see I've just created the object of this basic adapter that I've just created, and then initialize it by giving it the context and passing the word, the items. So I'll go ahead and say the Recyclerview adapter like this. Recyclerview.set adapter, we pass the adapter, and then lastly we set the click listener like that. Okay, adapter.set click listener, then we put on click listener, and then we make the snack bar, we pass the parent view, and we pass the item, and we pass the object and say the word clicked, and then this one will, and put dot show. So this snack bar is one that will be working as a toast in our project. Then lastly, we can put this on click listener, the menu. Can implement this menu click listeners. Like someone clicks on the click on this menu, it should be taken back to our project. Just go ahead and put them. They're just these simple methods that we override here. Okay, like if someone clicks, it should go back. So by doing like that, we'll have created our project that's going to display a basic list. Okay, so let me run it back. Let me run it, and then we'll be back here and explain the remaining pieces of code. So there is our project. I'll simply click on list, and then basic list. Boom, and we'll have that beautiful list with pictures of people in circles. You see, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. So don't give up until you reach this point, and don't just watch. When you click, you get this toast. See, so beautiful. And when you watch, don't just watch like a movie, but watch as you practice. Please don't really give up. It might not be simple, it might be confusing at some point, but don't give up until you make it up to this point. Okay, it's really beautiful, right? You see, when you click, then it will show this toast. When you click, it will show this toast. Okay, so let's go back and look at the code in the last time. So we have here the project itself, and then create the on click listen, on create method, and then initialize here the toolbar and initialize the component here. So this the component is the most important part. Here create the Recyclerview, and here I initialize the list using the data generator. I initialize the items using the generator as I showed in the previous video, and then here I say the adapter, and then here I do what? I set the click listen on the adapter as I show the toast, and then at this point I do what? I create on option menu click listener. Like if someone click back on the menu, it should be taken back, and then here I do what? I create the item click listener, and I create a toast when someone clicks on the menu. So this is the initializing the toolbar, just like I showed you in the previous video. So that's how we do it. If you want to download this source code, I'll put the link to the GitHub of this source code in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and download the source code and compare my project with your own. So I hope the video was helpful. If it was, please remember to like it and share it on your social media platform or with your friends, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel if you haven't too. Let us meet in the next video, where we're going to do or to look at more interesting Android lists using Material UI design. Thank you for watching, and see you there.